chicken. Ay, 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 ay.
Hello and welcome back to another Lightning Collection review. If you're new here, then welcome to my channel and I hope you enjoy it. And if not, I appreciate you returning back to take a look at some of these figures with me. So today this is dropped from Hasbro Pulse. So everybody that pre-ordered in the UK on Hasbro Pulse, this is arriving for us today. So we're going to be taking a little look at this figure, and this is the Turbo Blue Senturion. For us in the UK, this is the second turbo labelled figure that we have, and technically it could be looked at as the third if you count the two Phantom Rangers both as turbo rather than one being labelled in space. As usual, I have had a little look at this figure, so this is an empty box, but I will take a look at it anyway. And the box is looking really nice. It's got the Power Rangers Lightning Collection logo at the top, and then a really nice bit of artwork in the corner of him, telling us we're getting a Blue Senturion in our plastic-free packaging by Hasbro, and a nice picture of our figure on the front of the box. Our box is colour-coded, so at the top it is in blue with a Power Rangers Lightning Collection logo at the top. On the side we've got our Power Rangers Turbo logo at the top, telling us what we're getting inside the box. On this side we've got Power Rangers Turbo logo at the top with a nice bit of digital artwork on the side. Taking a look at the back of the box, he is posed up very nicely in this picture, and it's just showing us what we're going to get inside with our Turbo logo at the top. So we're getting our figure with two extra hands, which are weapon holding hands, two extra holsters for the legs so you can switch them out. We're getting variations of his weapons, so we've got a closed one there, a sword mode there, and his gun or blaster mode at the top here, with another of this blast effect piece that we've seen before, and a really tiny whistle at the bottom just there. So having a look at our figure out of the box, he's got a lot of detail on there, so he's got a lot of different molds on there as part of the figure. His helmet is looking very nice with his little antenna at the top, with his police logo punched in very nicely at the side. Little microphone there, looking like he's just jumped off of a police bike. Got some nice shoulder pads going on, and his little law enforcement badge there, with some traffic lights in the middle and lots of mechanical details in the middle there. On his knees, obviously he's got a traffic light system going. His shoulder pads at the top, obviously they're hollow, but this one's pretty loose. But he's definitely not as heavy as I thought he was going to be, and the plastic does look and feel pretty cheap. But to look at is a great figure. He looks very nice, he's very well detailed, and I am more than happy with it so far. He looks really nice. So looking at some accessories, he does come with two pairs of hands. So these are the closed fists that come originally in the packet, and I have swapped them out because I wanted to have a little look at what he was like holding all the different weapons and stuff before I did the video. So these are the ones that come in the box, and then obviously these two are the same, just for different sides. That's what he comes with in a packet of accessories. He comes with two different leg pieces, so these you can holster your weapon inside either side of the leg. His blast effect piece, which we've seen quite a few times before now. Here is his whistle. He also comes with a sworded version of his weapon. He also comes with his blaster version of that, and a holstered version of his weapon. So taking a little look at these changeable leg holsters, this is obviously where it's closed and there's nothing inside. You can't do anything with it, and it is obviously there as just a bit of show. So I should imagine that his weapon would be closed inside, maybe a little bit like RoboCop. And then all you do is pull that bit off, so it just comes off and pushes straight back in. They are labelled, so if we look for our other one, that's right, so they are numbered as well. So there's our left one, and it should just pop on like so. You may need to just squeeze it and mould it round, but it's really easy to go on. It doesn't really show too much gap around there either. And then all we do is get our little closed version and pop it inside there. I'm going to try my best to do some articulation on this, but my figure is very, very stiff in certain places. So if I don't want to, if it's not going to go that well, I'm not going to push it into the point that it snaps for the sake of just trying to do it. But at the top, he has quite a lot of movement in his head, so he can look down quite a bit, and he looks up a nice amount. Obviously turns 360 round. My one does feel pretty loose, but it's not loose enough where it's going to wobble, but it's also not stiff where it's going to start pulling paint off of the neck joint. So That for me is a perfect little amount of movement on that. Looking at the shoulders, we do have some butterfly joints, I believe, inside. Yeah, I can see them in there. So they are in there, but because of the way the mold of the plastic is, so this is obviously covering over the top of it, you can't really do much to it. And because of these little shoulder pads, he can probably go out, but not go in as much as you'd like to. He does have bicep swivel at the top. He has got double jointed elbows. Because of the elbow padding, you can't really use it. So that's about as much as it's gonna go in terms of double jointing, which is fine. He's meant to be a robot anyway, so I wouldn't expect him to do any more than that. The middle of the figure does feel like it's on a ball, so we can swirl it round. But again, because of this plastic on the top, he doesn't have a whole lot of movement. And when I say all this, I am more than happy that he's meant to represent a robot, so I wouldn't expect him to have full articulation movement that other figures would have. So I do bear that in mind when I say all this stuff. And he does have some ab crunch in the middle there, which obviously is going to be probably restricted due to the sculpting around the middle there. His legs are obviously very restrictive because we've got this plastic put over the mold, so that's about what you're going to get on that. And it does go a weird way around, so he does have very weird shaping on his legs. They do kind of counteract each other, so when you pull one down, the other side does go up and so on. There's no upper thigh swivel on this figure, which I'm guessing is due to the fact that we have these on the side. He does have double jointed knees, but mine are very, very stiff. And again, they have got this to restrict that in there as well. The bottom of the feet at the ankle, he does have swivel there, rather than it being at the top of the boot. And then our foot does move up and down and is on a rocker as well. Comparing him to some of the other Rangers, so here he is with Zane. He is a 6.6 inch figure, so he's a little bit bigger, which he should be anyway. Obviously, there's a lot of plastic covering this figure, and he's looking quite a bit bigger. The detail on him looks really good. And to me, this comparison just shows how good the detail is. Obviously, Zane looking quite plain there, which is fine because that's his suit, but it just shows how much effort and detail they really have put into things like his traffic lights and the bit on the middle of his chest just here. And obviously on his wrist, we've got detail on just absolutely everything, and his little police badge at the top there. So he's looking really cool. Very, very nice figure. And lastly, here he is with the Invisible Phantom Ranger. So these are the two turbo figures that we've got so far. Just waiting on some Rangers now. So once we start getting them, it definitely start thickening up the team very nicely. Lastly, moving on to the final thoughts of this figure. I do really, really like this figure. The detail is amazing. It comes with lots of different accessories and stuff. The price point is definitely worth it. And you can definitely feel the effort that they've put into sculpting this figure. It's very, very nice. There's obviously elements of this figure that feel quite cheap. So like the shoulder pads are very, very thin, obviously being hollow because they're going over the arm, which they have to be, and I fully understand that. But mine are a little bit loose. I understand they're not all going to be like that, but I can definitely see too much playing. There's a possibility they're going to snap. I did get this from Hasbro Pulse, so I did pay normal price for it, and it is definitely worth every penny that I'd spent on it. I'm very, very happy. Really not disappointed on it at all. Mine's definitely going to need some heating up, and I will do that myself shortly. My apologies for not being able to show off the articulation on the legs, but it's not that great anyway, as you can see by the back of the legs. So just to wrap that up, here's a very, very nice figure. The detail on it is really good. And for the price point, it's definitely worth the deluxe price. These are available at most of your normal retailers and online comic shops and stuff like that. It is obviously available on Hasbro Pulse now, so if you're going to buy that from there, he will be shipping out instantly until he sells out. And that wraps it up from me, guys, so thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please consider leaving a like, and if you do want to see more, I do have some more coming out this week, so please subscribe and get those notifications coming in when those videos drop. Thank you all from me. I hope you all have a good week.